Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're embarking on an epic journey back in time to explore one of history's most powerful and long-lasting dynasties, the Ottoman Empire. For over 600 years, this empire shaped the world, bridging continents and cultures in a way few others have. So, buckle up as we uncover the story of its meteoric rise, its golden age, and its eventual dramatic fall. Our story begins in the late 13th century, in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey. The region was a mosaic of small Turkic principalities, or beyliks, emerging from the remnants of the Seljuk Sultanate. Among them was a small but ambitious state, led by a chieftain named Osman I. While shrouded in a bit of legend, it was Osman and his successors who laid the groundwork for an empire. They weren't just warriors. They were shrewd state builders, and they had a vision. This vision was fueled by the Ghazi ethos, a warrior code that combined nomadic traditions with a drive to expand the frontiers of the Islamic world. It was this powerful motivation that propelled them from a tiny beylik into a formidable force. The early Ottomans were relentless. Osman's son, Orhan, captured the major Byzantine city of Bursa in 1326 and made it the Ottoman capital. This wasn't just a military victory, it was a statement. The Ottomans were here to stay. They began expanding into southeastern Europe, crossing the Dardanelles, and establishing a foothold in the Balkans. By the end of the 14th century, under rulers like Murad I and Bayezid I, they had conquered vast territories in the region, defeating powerful Serbian and Bulgarian kingdoms. A key to their success was the creation of the Janissaries, an elite infantry unit. These soldiers, often recruited from Christian boys in the Balkans through the Devshirme system, were fiercely loyal to the Sultan and became one of the most formidable military forces of their time. But the true turning point, the moment that cemented the Ottoman Empire's place in history, came in 1453. After a grueling 53-day siege, the 21-year-old Sultan Mehmed II achieved what many had thought impossible. He conquered Constantinople, the legendary capital of the Byzantine Empire, using massive cannons that could shatter the city's ancient walls. Mehmed the Conqueror brought 1,000 years of Byzantine history to an end. He rode into the city, renamed it Istanbul, and declared it the new capital of his empire. The Hagia Sophia, the grandest cathedral in Christendom, was converted into a mosque, symbolizing the shift in power. This single event sent shockwaves across Europe and marked the definitive rise of the Ottomans as a world power. With Istanbul as its heart, the empire entered its golden age. The 16th century, particularly under the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent, is often seen as the peak of Ottoman power, wealth, and culture. Suleiman was a brilliant military strategist, a gifted administrator, and a great patron of the arts. His armies pushed the empire's borders to their greatest extent, stretching from Hungary in the north to Yemen in the south, and from Algeria in the west to the borders of Persia in the east. He laid siege to Vienna in 1529, striking fear into the heart of Europe. His navy, commanded by the legendary Admiral Barbarossa, dominated the Mediterranean Sea. But Suleiman's reign was about more than just conquest. It was a time of incredible cultural and architectural achievement. The chief architect, Mimar Sinan, designed hundreds of magnificent buildings, including the stunning Süleymaniye Mosque in Istanbul, which still dominates the city's skyline today. Law was codified under Suleiman's direction, earning him the title, the lawgiver, among his own people. Arts like calligraphy, painting, poetry, and ceramics flourished. Istanbul became a bustling, cosmopolitan metropolis, a vibrant center of trade and learning, where people from all corners of the world came together. The empire was a complex, multi-ethnic, and multi-religious society, governed through the millet system, which allowed religious communities to rule themselves under their own laws. Life inside this vast empire was a study in contrasts. At the top was the Sultan, an absolute monarch who lived in the opulent Topkapi Palace, a sprawling complex with lush gardens, grand halls, and the famous harem. The harem was not just the Sultan's private quarters. It was a powerful political institution in its own right, where the Sultan's mother, wives, and concubines wielded significant influence. Below the Sultan was a highly organized bureaucracy and a powerful military. For ordinary people, life varied greatly, depending on where you lived and who you were. A merchant in Cairo, a farmer in Serbia, and a scholar in Istanbul all had vastly different experiences, yet they were all subjects of the same empire. Connected by its vast networks of trade, law, and administration, however, no empire lasts forever. By the 17th century, the seeds of decline were already being sown. The era of rapid expansion came to an end. The failure of the Second Siege of Vienna in 1683 is often seen as a crucial turning point, marking the end of Ottoman military supremacy in Europe. Internally, the empire faced numerous challenges: a series of less capable sultans, corruption within the government, and the declining effectiveness of the once invincible janissaries all weakened the state. Economically, the discovery of new sea routes to Asia by European powers bypassed the traditional land routes controlled by the Ottomans, leading to a loss of trade revenue. The empire that had once been at the cutting edge of military technology began to fall behind a rapidly industrializing Europe. Throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, the Ottoman Empire was famously labeled the sick man of Europe. It began to lose territory piece by piece. Greece, Serbia, Romania, and Bulgaria all fought for and won their independence, fueled by the rise of nationalism. Powerful local rulers within the empire grew more autonomous, challenging the central authority of the Sultan. European powers, like Britain, France, and Russia, meddled in Ottoman affairs, competing for influence and territory in what became known as the Eastern Question. In response, the Ottomans attempted a series of reforms, known as the Tanzimat, to modernize the army, the government, and society. They introduced a constitution and a parliament, but these efforts were often too little, too late, and faced resistance from conservative elements within the empire. The final blow came with World War I. The Ottoman Empire made the fateful decision to ally with the Central Powers, Germany and Austria-Hungary. The war was a catastrophe. The empire suffered devastating losses on multiple fronts. The conflict also witnessed the tragic and controversial Armenian Genocide, a dark chapter in its history. In 1918, defeated and exhausted, the empire collapsed. The victorious Allies moved to partition its lands, but from the ashes of the empire, a new movement arose, led by a brilliant military officer named Mustafa Kemal. Turkish nationalists fought a war of independence. They successfully expelled the occupying forces and, in 1922, abolished the Sultanate, ending 623 years of Ottoman rule. The following year, Mustafa Kemal, now known as Ataturk, founded the modern secular Republic of Turkey. And so, the story of the Ottoman Empire came to an end. But its legacy is all around us. It shaped the borders, cultures, and politics of the Middle East, North Africa, and the Balkans in ways that are still felt today. Its art and architecture continue to inspire awe. Its history, a dramatic tale of faith, power, ambition, and decline, offers timeless lessons about the rise and fall of great civilizations. From a small band of warriors to a global superpower, the Ottomans left an indelible mark on the world. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through 600 years of history. What part of the Ottoman story do you find most fascinating? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the past. We'll see you in the next one.